Poet and journalist Walt Whitman was born May 31st, 1819 in West Hills, New York, and was the second of 9 children born to his parents Walter and Louisa Van Velser. Considered one of America's most influential poets, Walter aimed to transcend traditional epics and reflect the nature of the American experience. Whitman faced many hardships in his childhood and was raised between the hard-pressed finance of his family. His family kept on moving from one place to another due to bad economic conditions, which led to his first employment as early as the age of 11. Whitman was soon employed by the newspaper, The Patriot, where he learned about the printing press and typesetting. By this time, he had begun reading passionately, with works associated with Homer, Dante, and Shakespeare, and joined various debating societies. He also began writing poetry during this time, which were anonymously published in the New York Mirror. When he was 17, Whitman turned to teaching. His first job was in a one-room schoolhouse in Long Island. Whitman continued to teach for another 5 years when, in 1841, he set his sights on journalism. He started a weekly newspaper called The Long Islander and later returned to New York City, where he continued his newspaper career. After working there for a few months, he joined the Long Island Democrat. In 1846, he became editor of a prominent newspaper called the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. Whitman claimed poems to be his first love and continued to write poetry in his early years, which gave him initial success. During the 1850s, he embarked upon writing Leaves of Grass, his first work that would bring him his greatest success. The collection was published with his own money in 1855. The verses in Leaves of Grass was published anonymously and raised much interest within a short span of time. Critics called the poetry as obscene and was harshly criticized for its sexual theme. Despite the negative comments, some praised it for its ingenious use of free verses. In 1857, he joined the Brooklyn Daily Times, where he contributed as editor and writer until 1859. One of the poems, which was included in the Leaves of Grass, was Miracles. The poem has a vital meaning which reflects the fact that things can be taken for granted at times and that society can change step by step. In January 1873, Whitman suffered the first of several strokes, which he called wax. The stroke left him partially paralyzed. He suffered his second stroke in 1888, and because of his health, he was largely confined to home. Though his body was incapacitated, his mind was not. In January 1892, he prepared the final edition of Leaves of Grass, to which he appended an author's note. Walt Whitman wishes to respectfully notify the public that he would like his new 1892 edition to absolutely supersede all the previous ones. 2 months later, on 26th of March 1892, Walt Whitman died at home at the age of 72. He was buried in Camden's Harley Cemetery. Whitman felt he did not achieve the aims he set forth when he published Leaves of Grass. Perhaps he did not get what he wanted in his time, but he certainly has gained acceptance in ours. Why? Who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses towards the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles. The whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there? The words of the title, Miracles, suggest that the poem is about the things in life that happen for an unexpected reason. The title may have also revealed the little and grand wonders in Walt's life and how he appreciated them all. When Whitman is speaking in miracles, he tries to portray that there are miracles all around the world, and that they occur constantly in everyone's everyday life. The poem's meaning that the narrator is trying to get across is that everything in life is a miracle, even from the things that most people dismiss, like standing under the trees in the woods. The world is filled with an endless number of things that are very similar and unique, which are all miracles. The figurative or connotative meaning of this poem is that everything is connected in a strange and twisted way. Whitman references many contrasting situations, however, all of them are still considered miracles. Whitman uses literary devices within miracles to express his figurative meaning, including imagery, metaphors, and using his point of view. He conveys imagery many times as visual and auditory. An example of imagery is shown when Whitman describes how honeybees going around a summer forenoon is a miracle, which is portrayed in line 13 when he states, "Or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon." This quote is significant because it creates a sense for the reader to actually feel like they're watching honeybees in a summer forenoon. Additionally, metaphors are portrayed throughout most of the lines in Miracles when Whitman compares most aspects of life being a miracle, explaining how life should not be taken for granted. These metaphors play a crucial factor in understanding the poem by comparing many unique features in life, portraying them as miracles. Point of view is shown in lines 2, 3, 9, and 10. Writing in his point of view is helpful to the reader because they understand his stance on the miracle of life and leads the reader to consider his or her own thoughts relating to the subject. Many times, authors write to bring a certain idea to a reader's attention. Here, Whitman makes the reader think about how much there is to appreciate in life. The tone in this poem is sincerely optimistic. Once again, Whitman is referring to all the little or big events in life and how they better us as people. He portrays this feeling by referencing the positives of everyday life and referring to them as miracles. Whitman seems to feel very content and happy with the way life is. Within the poem, there are shifts between a few opposite situations. For example, Whitman alludes to the fact that being with strangers is a miracle, but so is being with the ones you love. Or how summer days are wonderful, but so are the nights. Or how being at the beach and the forest are very different, yet they are both miracles to be appreciated. These changes hold on to the idea of women's shifts in the poem and how each one is a miracle. The title Miracles is pretty self-explanatory and can be understood quite easily. The title gives the reader a hint that the poem will express the gratitude we should have for our lives, and that anything can be looked at in a beneficial way. The word miracles can really lead a reader's mind in many different directions, but the common understanding is that miracles can be found in anything with the right attitude. As Whitman is listing many miracles he sees, a very repeated word is or, followed by a phrase. The repeated idea in those phrases is that even the little things in life that may not get noticed is what we should be recognizing the most. This helps the reader find the focus of a poem, evidently miracles, and further highlights that one must appreciate life in order to enjoy it. Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of the stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles. The whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there?